Brittany, come on in.
Hi. I'm gonna put my purse over here.
Okay. Where'd you like to sit?
I'll sit over here like last time. That's fine.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having
Glad
me
you
again.
Came back in. The last time we met, we had discussed several things that you gave me the impression that were causing you a lot of stress in your life. And I just want to go touch base on those things again.
Okay.
You had told me that there was extra family members living in your home that was causing a lot of stress on you. There's 3 other kids living there, and there's lots of messes. You talked about the money, not getting money for bills when you needed it. You couldn't have any time for homework, and that you really were looking forward to having some more family time
Yes.
with you and Dylan and your daughter Avery. So those are a lot of things that can cause stress in a relationship or just in a home. Tell me about some things that might be going well.
Well, we just, like last time, I think I mentioned that she was getting ready to turn 3. We just had her birthday party. So we had all of our family together, which was really nice. And she had a couple friends come, so it seems like she enjoyed it. And then before that, my family had their Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So that was nice because we all live far away, so we all don't get together a lot. But that's been going good. I remember you saying something about one of the goals was that you wanted Dylan and I to talk, or you wanted me to try to talk to him about that.
You had set a goal.
Yes.
We discussed that, and you decided a goal that you was wanting to set for you was to have a talk with Dylan about some of the things that you were feeling a lot of stress over.
Yes.
How did that go? Did you guys get that chance to have that conversation?
We did. It wasn't like I thought it would be. It didn't really turn out like I thought it was going to. We were talking about it, and I just seemed to get really emotional and was crying, and I feel like he understands it a little bit more than he did before on how frustrating and stressful it is. But in the meantime, while we were talking, a couple days before we had talked, I recently found out that I was pregnant.
Okay.
And he's been having some trouble at work with his boss, and it's just not going very well, and he actually got fired too.
Oh,
So
sorry to hear
that comes back to, the money, and then, the money for, this upcoming baby and the bills. And so it seems like the bills are like reoccurring.
Right.
Money seems to be an issue, but the conversation that we had about it, I feel like it was good, but I feel like there could be more that we could talk about with it. We had talked about a date even on having like a conversation with his brother on saying, okay, we feel like we gave you enough time, and we just feel like this is, we haven't set an exact day, but maybe like spring, saying by the end of spring, because my due date is in July, so the end of spring, we would like him to be out, so that way we have enough time to prepare the house and get everything ready for the baby for when it comes.
Okay. It sounds like you had some good times within
Yes.
the last week.
Yes.
Maybe some things that might have helped with some of the stress level.
Yes.
So that's good to always have those types of times together, and it's nice that you're able to hang out with your family and you guys.
Yes, it was very nice having them
that's
here.
great, and then your daughter's party as well, so that's good to hear. I'm glad she had a good time. When you talk about some of the stressors that you and Dylan are having, like some of the things that are really kind of on the hot plate, so to speak, how do you or Dylan handle those kinds of things? Like, what's some things that you guys do to maybe keep the stress level down a little bit, or have you guys is there something that you do to help with that?
I don't think we really have set anything, like we just kinda, I think we just more just let it build up inside, and then just kind of like it explodes, and then we have to have that conversation.
Okay. Are there things that you do maybe when you feel like that stress is escalating, which even on your end, like if you feel like that, you say you hold it all inside, are there things that you might do to escape that for a little bit, to like maybe bring a little bit of relief on yourself? Like, is there a place in the house where you can get away, or, you know, some women like to do bubble baths. I mean, is
Yeah,
there, what do you do to help cope with those type of things?
Excuse me. I just would like to just like either go in the bedroom or just go in my daughter's room and just hang out with her and just like, if it's an issue between him and I or something, just try to just stay away sometimes, just so I don't always say things that I regret or stuff like that. So
Sometimes it is good to have that little bit of quiet time from each other. It's always good to maybe get that chance where you guys can just think before you speak.
Right.
Because you're right in that aspect.
well, a lot of times he does. Like if we have a dispute about something, sometimes he'll just go outside just to
get away.
and he'll go in the garage. Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes I might not have like a special spot, so sometimes I get just like the whole house, and then he just is the one that leaves and goes to the garage for his spot.
So it sounds like the two of you do have a way to kind of, not really escape, but to get away from a stressful conversation or something that's bothering you. That's great, because everybody needs that. We need a time to just get away and take a break from a conversation when things are heating up. Well, it sounds like the conversation when you set the goal to talk to Dylan about the things that were really bothering you, you have a whole new surface of things in your lives that are new topics that will, I feel like the two of those are probably a high priority right now.
Yeah.
Not that the others are not. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's good. I feel like definitely with him just recently losing his job, I feel like that is an issue that's going to be hard for us, especially, with the holidays coming up and, just trying to figure all that out and, is he going to, have the money for the house payment? It's already a struggle for his brother. So I just feel like the money situation is going to be kind of like a reoccurring issue from the past, but I feel, so.
Okay. Well, one thing I would encourage you to keep in mind because all those things you're talking about are tough topics to discuss. They are all things that always tend to cause heated discussions in most couples in their relationship. So just, I would encourage you to try to remember to practice self-control and continue doing the things that you've been doing, as far as like taking a moment and walking away or finding comfort in a room by yourself or a room with your daughter. Find some way to escape so that you don't get in a discussion and say things that you regret. So I'd like to talk now about maybe, the discussions kind of moved onto a couple of new topics. The fact that you're pregnant and then Dylan's job that he lost. So what kind of resources do you feel like that you might have or that he might have that would help with those type of things, with the pregnancy, as far as insurance, or you have ways to get to your doctor appointments when they start happening, resources, meaning like does he have people that can maybe give him some tips on other employment opportunities? What do you feel like you have available as far as
he
resources?
actually has been talking to his uncle. He works in Indy at the IBEW. He works for an electric company down there, so he's been trying to get on there for a good couple months anyways, but it was just the date has been set to February when they're supposed to call him. So the job that he had was just kind of like he'd been there for a while, but it was kind of just a filler, just like a waiting job. So, I mean, he's been talking to his uncle, and his uncle's been talking to him, just telling him to be patient and all that. Family is a big thing when it comes to doctor's appointments. If we need a babysitter, or, say, we get short on money, I know, my mom will, let me use her car, or, somehow somebody will help with getting to the doctor and all of that. So,
so it sounds like you have a few options as far as resources for both the pregnancy, getting to appointment, and for Dylan, finding more employment. So some options that you might have, like you talked about, you said you were stressful. You mentioned that there might be an area where you can come to a quiet room. You talked about the sitter. What do you have now available to you? What options do you have now? You mentioned your mom.
For a sitter, or just
in perspective to, the concerns that you have, you know,
Okay.
with those type of things, what do you have now that's available to you?
Well, we have the babysitter for her, which we have decided to take her out of that for a short while, which, my grandma's available to babysit
Okay.
if we need her to, and my mom gets off work around 1:30ish, so she's always available at that time. And when I've talked to the babysitter, and when he gets up and going with this new job that's supposed to happen, then she said, just bring Avery back, and
Okay.
you know, we'll act
So
like
that's
nothing
good.
happened. And then she said she's possibly willing to take the new baby when it's here. So that alone was
Okay, so you-
a stressor that I
Yes.
had when I found out, because you know, I wasn't sure how and who was going to be able to take care of the baby when it got here.
Well, that's
So
good, so at least you have, an option available if, you know, if money's still tight once you have this new child, you said in July?
Yes.
Okay, so once July rolls around and if your money's still tight and you don't have the funds to help pay for childcare, at least you know you have a mother or grandmother that is available, so that's a good, resource and tool to have. We talked about possibilities, you mentioned the potential of Dylan getting the job,
yes.
and you said it was IBEW?
Yes.
Electric company,
Yeah.
okay. So, are there, when you think about some things that you, and you can reflect back on some of the other issues that you talked about, or even, with the two new situations that have arisen over the last week, what are some things that maybe, he or you haven't tried? Is there anything that you guys haven't tried you can think of, or
No, I mean, not,
some things maybe you wanna try, but you haven't quite yet?
I mean, the job's an ending, so we have possibly have thought about, you know, if the drive, because he would have to commute back and forth, so we had even thought, you know, if the drive was too much, that possibly we would move closer down there, because
Okay.
from where we live, it's like a 45-minute to an hour drive
Right.
one way, so that was a possibility. I mean, we've just, you know, we've lived home, you know, in our area for, you know, our whole life, so that would, I mean, that would be something that, you know, is a possibility, but it's not been definite that we would do, so.
Right, okay, so, it sounds like you guys have laid out and discussed some options in perspective to, you know, his employment and this new baby, so that's good, you guys are thinking ahead. When you talk about a lot of the times when stress is building up, or things are bothering you, when are things at their best? Like, when does it feel like, and you can reflect back on even the things that we talked about last week, when do you feel like everything's going the best for you?
I mean, it's like everything builds up, and then I explode, and then he kind of explodes, and then like that, depending on what time, it might be like that night or part of the next day, and then it's like within 24 to 48 hours, everything is, it's fine, and then that's when it's like, okay, well, we've said that, and it's like, it's almost gone, like it's.
Okay. But in perspective, like throughout your day, or a weekend, or the middle of the week, when do you feel like things are at their best within your, when you think of all the issues that you've talked about, you know, with the money, now with the new baby, no employment, when do you feel like you are more so at a high of a moment, like feeling really good about yourself and your life? When do you feel?
When I get the money and the bills are paid, and then, you know, when I have my money back, as I call
Right,
it,
I
that's
can
good.
see, yes.
When my homework assignments are turned in, or, this is gonna sound bad, but when his girls don't come over, like, it's just, for me, that's almost like a time I can just take and I can just breathe and just be like, okay. you know,
Kind of
this-
be you and not
yes.
have to be mom again, yeah.
Right, yeah.
I can understand that. So if we think about solutions, what's working now, it sounds to me like you're saying, you know, you get relief when it's just you and Dylan and your daughter there. Maybe when it's not, you know, not all the other children around, it gives you some time, you feel good about things when, your homework's done, so, does that sound like what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let's talk a little bit about, things in your life that help you. What do you feel like in your life helps you sustain who you are, or helps you just, when things are going